At this point, I'm going to be like amazed if it works. I'm sure you guys feel that every time that you do one of these sessions.
Every time, yeah, that's great.
Hey, what are you nerds doing?
Hey.
Hey,
So good to see you.
it's so good to see you too. How are you?
I'm okay, thanks. Yeah, hanging in there. What do you say? Surviving, not thriving.
Exactly. Exactly.
How about yourself?
I'm doing the same. It just feels like one Groundhog Day after another.
Yeah, I know the
Doing
feeling.
the same thing every day and
Yeah.
missing all my coworkers and
Yeah.
live music. But I heard you were doing these isolated tracks, and I knew you weren't going to be able to tell people how you make the music without my input.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's right. We need you there.
I'm an honorary member of the band, but that's a figment of my own imagination.
I love that.
I'm going to leave you guys alone. You're in good hands. These two are fun. I just
Thanks,
wanted
Cheryl. Thanks for checking in.
to
Cheryl.
Peace.
Bye.
Legend.
Wow, awesome.
Yep.
Hello, everyone. This is the show Isolated Tracks, produced for 90.3 KEXP FM. It's a nonprofit radio station in Seattle. Also streaming online at kexp.org. On this show, we look inside songs from some of our favorite artists, isolating tracks and then putting them back together to just kind of see how on earth music gets made. I'm Julian Martlew, one of KEXP's live and production audio engineers, and today we are talking with our good friend and multi-instrumentalist, producer, guitar wizard, Stu Mackenzie of King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, about the song Honey, which is released, what has it been, 2 weeks now?
Something like that. Hey. Hi.
Hi. How are you doing?
Like I said before, surviving, not thriving. You know?
Yeah.
Just sort of like in a hibernation state, you know? It could be worse. It's a lot worse for some other folk out there in the world, but you know, just trying to make music and keep the mind active and that's all really. Basic existence.
When you made this song, did you manage to get everyone else in the band to play? And did you send people tracks and have them come back, kind of thing?
Yeah, this one we started before COVID because it's like a little bit of an older song. I think the earlier recordings the start of this session was last year sometime, maybe mid last year or something. You know, when we make an album, it usually, I don't know, people think we make albums real quickly, but we actually spend a lot of time on albums. It's just that there's usually a lot of a crossover. So, you know, this album probably started coming together mid last year or something like that. The sort of initial spark actually came out of jams. It started off, the riff came out of like a Sleep Drifter jam. And I think that's why it's kind of, I mean, it's in the same key and it's kind of like roughly the same tempo. You know, you just get these moments where you look at each other and it's just like, oh, whoa, that like 5 seconds there, that's an entire song.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of our songs come about that way, from a very, very, very simple and short spark. It's like that's not a riff, that's a whole song. And I think that's how that felt when that riff just happened. And so, yeah, like it took a long time for this song to develop, and it went through a lot of versions of the words, and the final version of the lyrics were definitely kind of like changed and rewritten to reflect, you know, my state of mind this year, even though kind of like a lot of the music was put together earlier. I think it started off as being much more of a like effervescent, happy, just earnest song, and then it kind of got a bit more like dark, but maybe deeply more sincere as well. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was
But
going to
yeah,
say, I mean, you hear the lyrics and it's like, it seems so perfectly apt for right now. And then I had read that you had written the song a while back, and I was like, what is this, some sort of predictive magic? But you did rewrite the lyrics.
I usually do that. Yeah, I usually, I mean, I usually rewrite like everything.
Yeah.
Because I like writing in the recording process. I know a lot of people don't like doing that, but I like to change and rewrite and rearrange things. Like right up until the last day. That's like fairly common for me.
Well, you want to jump into the current version and
let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So I guess like a good place to start is the drums, which is like what I usually start a recording with. I'm gonna play. So here's Cabs. He's doubled. There's one Cabs on the left and there's another Cabs on the right. You can hear right Cabs. Here comes left Cabs. It's actually a really bad drum recording. It's really, really bad. You'll probably notice that's like a motif in like my work, is to do things like really badly. But I don't usually do this, but I ended up adding a bunch of samples to this recording. Because like you can tell it's I don't know what I was thinking. It's like literally just a really bad recording. So we ended up slotting this kick drum in. And then it's also got this snare drum, which is kind of like, I don't know if you can hear that. It's a different sample on the left and the right here.
Yeah.
That's kind of like beefing it out. And then the final cherry, you'll hear it when it comes back in, is this hi-hat. Which is like left and right. Sounds like this. But that's the drum sound. It's pretty simple, really. I think with the drums, you can see that these emission tracks here, they're printed. So I feel as though they're probably like 3 mic recording, like a kick drum. No, there are 2 mic recording. There are a kick drum and an overhead, but I think I've kind of EQ'd the kick drum out. And then
to make space for the sample.
To make space for the sample. And then they're both bounced through my little Tascam 38 like tape machine, which is kind of giving it that little bit of grit. But apart from that, it's really not a lot of fancy stuff going on. And that's it. What's funny about this recording actually is that it's got this guitar. So the guitar's actually, to me, sounds kind of cool. It took a long time to get the guitar to sound right. And that's because this guitar track is recorded with an iPhone, which is something that I also do, which is something I also do a lot, because iPhones are like, I mean, they're always in your fucking pocket. So
yeah,
like, why wouldn't you like use this high tech piece of equipment, which is literally sitting in your pocket all day, and they have like a nice grit to it. I'm gonna take off everything that's on this. Well, there's nothing on it. So it's running through this bus, I think, and that's just got like a little chorus and a little EQ. But without that, that's it. That's iPhone. And it's doubled. There's one on the left. There's one on the right. You can hear it's got that like iPhone. It's got that iPhone distortion. I don't know if you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I know what you mean. And it's got a way of cutting through because it's designed for you to be able to hear while you're walking down the street, right? I mean, it's just
That's right. It's literally designed to cut, like
to cut
through the mix. Yeah, so that's like a fun little thing.
Amazing.
And then I'm gonna just mute some of this stuff. And then we've got our bass track, which is done by Joey, but you can see it's kind of cut up as well. So I think again there probably was a bass scratch track at one stage. But there's our bass, which is like again like not a very fancy recording either. I've got just like a stock Ableton plugin. It's
a direct recording, or it's a
DI recording. It's a DI. So this like little distortion turns on in some parts. You can see my little automation line. Oh wait, it's only not on at the start for some reason. I don't know. I don't even remember doing that. There's a second bass. I think this one is different because this was done on a different day with a different bass. So it's got like a slightly different sound. The last kind of third of the song from this moment. And that's the three-piece. I'm gonna just keep bringing things in.
Yeah, this is great. I mean, you basically just proved the thing that people always talk about, which is that the groove matters more than anything else. Like those three pieces locked together, and it's like I'm excited, I'm bobbing my head, and I'm in the song. You know,
that's great.
It's marvelous.
I usually order my sessions in the way things are dropped in. Next, the vocals come. The vocals are also pretty simple. They're recorded with this microphone. I have it right in my hand here. You can't see me, can you?
I can see you.
Oh, you can see me. All right.
Yeah.
It's this thing. It's a microphone that's meant for a vocoder, and it's on a gooseneck. And it's kind of fun. It's an AKG DG and 99E.
Awesome.
But anyway, this mic is kind of like a random mic. It's got a certain sound to it. But here's my vocal take.
Like the wind on a sail, I'll steer you along, and the germs outside, I'll keep
so
you.
A lot of people have like a certain way they like to record their vocals. I don't really have that. I just do like some weird random thing every time. So, you know, like before we were going to do this session, I had to just like this morning I was digging in and I just looked at it and I thought, that's really crazy how I recorded this. Like, this is really, really bizarre. Like the EQ curve is really strange. Then it hits this de-esser, which it's just getting on a couple of, like it's hitting that sail.
Yeah.
On a sail.
And then it hits this compressor like ridiculously hard.
Super hard, yeah.
Which is also not something that I usually would do. I don't use a lot of compression in my recordings really at all. I like to have lots of layers of saturation rather than kind of like straight compression.
Yeah.
So this is not typical of like my recordings at all.
I thought there was a fuzz on there when I was listening to the finished song, but there's not a distortion.
It's also probably again a bad recording, so maybe there's some fuzz going on somewhere. But again, after that, it goes to this bus. It hits this like again, just like basic stock Ableton plugin.
Like the wind on a sail, I'll steer you along,
where that distortion is coming from.
Okay.
Outside, I'll keep
then there's a chorus.
Yep.
Then there's a delay, which is only on sometimes over here.
Yep.
And then there's another compressor. So, you know, I don't know, maybe that's not that crazy, but to me, this is not typical of what I would usually do to a vocal. But hey, it's fun to do weird stuff.
Yeah.
I've got these 2 channels of harmonies going on here too, and they're literally copied from the ones above them and like pitched up.
Yep.
While the meat I make can brew.
That's why they sound like a synthesizer or something.
Yeah.
For you.
I think they're just a 5th or a 4th above. Maybe sometimes a 5th, sometimes a 4th.
Buoyant is your spirit. Gotta keep me near it.
Fun
Great.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's the cheat way to sing harmony. I feel like I probably did it like, I probably did that harmony when I wasn't near a microphone. Usually I would sing a harmony, but if I might have been like sitting in my bed with headphones on at like 2:00 in the morning editing or something and thought, I think that needs a harmony, and like, I'm gonna wake up my wife if I start singing now, so I'm just gonna like copy that in, and maybe tomorrow I'll redo it, but I probably just never got around to it.
Yeah. Inspiration strikes, you gotta move fast.
That's right. I'm just gonna keep bringing things in.
Yeah.
So this is, that's just a little sound. That's probably, I didn't name it. It's probably a Melotron.
Yeah.
Just a little texture. I know what this is. This is the Melotron Flutes. Which these Melotron Flutes, it's a patch I made. I sampled the Melotrons. Well, the Melotrons are already samples, of course, but I recorded a bunch of Melotron notes, and I pitched the ones I needed to. So a handful of the notes are like, again, semitone flat to suit this recording. Sorry, half a semitone flat. And they come in again here. And I just realized for some reason that one's going to the drum bus, which is probably just like an accident.
But
it just sounds, I don't know, it's not meant to do that, but anyway, it's probably whatever. What do we got here? Oh yeah, this is another Melotron. Again, like sampled or recorded, and a handful of notes pitched. I think this is
it's like a
the
harp,
Melotron
like
harp. Yeah. Yeah, that this sound kind of just does fun stuff like that. You know what? I probably I probably spent an entire day messing around with sounds and only ended up with a handful in there. Like there might be like 20, 30 different textures and sounds that I just deleted, and I ended up with, this kind of simple one, this flute and this harp. And it looks like there's one more here. I think this is an organ, which I've recorded in stereo like all these other ones. Yeah, so this one's got more of a Hammond vibe.
Yep.
This is kind of just filling out this outro.
Tastes like honey.
Yeah.
that stuff. Then we've got some harmonica that Ambrose sent me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, again, this was something that he sent. He would have recorded it at his house, and I've just kind of slotted it in. There's a bunch here that I haven't used.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ambi. Just hear it bleeding through his headphones.
Yeah.
This one is a cookie overdub, or 2 cookie overdubs. It's just kind of like filling these sections out. I think he does some kind of one note over here. Yeah. And then also this guy. It's another sound. So after I feel like the song sat at that level, probably like in a rougher, less mixed stage for a while. And the final little cherry on top, which came very, very late, like I want to say 2 days before mastering type thing, is all this percussion, which Cavs did from his bedroom in ISO on his iPad, which again, like low tech kind of vibes. But it's literally all finger drums. It's iPad finger drums. And that's how you keep your recording budgets down. And that's it. There's a couple of sends. There's like a reverb send, but yeah, it's honestly like it's not very fancy, and it's kind of simple. You know, we have like a lot of recordings that I would go through that are just like super long. You'd be scrolling, all these sounds, all this stuff. I think for Giz, this one is pretty restrained. Oh, there's one other thing that's interesting that is probably worth sharing is my master bus. I have this
the Kramer tape. Yeah.
It's like really smashed.
I love that one.
It's good, isn't it? But I'm smashing it in this way. I kind of learnt this trick from Daptone, but I've taken it to like a new place. Daptone is this amazing studio and label in New York, and we recorded there a few times.
Yeah,
they were doing a similar-ish trick on their master bus with the low end. So the trick is to cut a whole heap of low frequencies before your tape, and then boost the same low frequencies after tape. And the effect that you get is the low frequency information is less distorted than your high frequency information, which the mastering engineer likes. But anyway, I've kind of taken it to the next level and also boosted a bunch of high information. So you can see on this EQ, that's what the tape machine is hitting. So the tape machine, or the tape machine, the Kramer tape plugin sounds like this. But then you kind of do the opposite EQ and you get that. I don't know if that makes sense or whether there's another more succinct way to explain that. I've also got 2 of these Kramer tapes running in parallel. There's this one which is more dirty, and then there's this one which is more clean. So the one on the left is more dirty, The one on the right is more clean, but it's also still the one that's dirty sounds like that, and it's just kind of like adding hair. I would call that hair.
Yeah, hair.
And the cleaner one is kind of body, I guess, body and hair.
Yeah, that's fantastic. It's awesome. Cool, man.
Yeah,
It's a heck of a song.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate it. It was fun to make.
Well, I guess we should wrap it up. In case I always forget to do the reset, but in case somebody just randomly popped out of some tunnel and appeared here, this has been the show, Isolated Tracks for KEXP FM, a nonprofit radio in Seattle. Also streaming online at kexp.org. We've been talking with Stu Mackenzie of King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. The song is called Honey. It's been out for a couple of weeks. You can find video. You can purchase it. You can tell all your friends about this amazing band, and you can get out there and make some music yourself, because now you've had another peek into one of the ways that people do that.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and thanks for the ongoing support. I love KEXP. Peace.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. All right, Justin, come out of your secret hole.
That was awesome.
Thanks so much. Really, really appreciate it.
Discover great music at kexp.org.